Morning, dear students. Welcome back to Computer Applications, a recorded video session. So, we'll continue the ninth chapter. Okay, so in the ninth chapter, last video we have discussed some programs. Okay, so in live session also, Shinomis has shown two programs, that is also nested loops only. So how the nested loop will work and all, I hope it is clear to you. So some more points are there in the same chapter, so we'll see. So already you have learned about that break statement and continue statement, so how it works in nested loop. Okay, so before that, nested loop, see some for some of you it may be difficult, but at the same time you have to make it thorough, the syntax of loop statement. Okay, so actually it is in your syllabus it is given only 4 statement as nested. We can make any of the loop as nested. Okay, so yeah, we'll see in the nested loop how the break statement will work. Okay, so break statement, that is, see, mainly we are using as a terminator. Okay, so that means it stops the working of the loop. So suppose when we are using that break statement in nested loop, suppose inner loop and outer loop is there, so we are adding that break statement in the inner loop. Okay, so the inner working of the inner loop will stops from there, and the outer loop it continues working. Okay, so but when the break statement, when we are placing in outer loop, so what will happen, all the looping working, it stops. Okay, so here I have typed a part of the code we call snippet. Okay, so there outer loop is there. Okay, so inner loop, then inner loop it is SOP, that I into j is given. Okay, then here see in the outer loop, in the out, see here, this is inner loop, and one statement I into j, that is SOP statement, is given as inner loop only, and as the part of the outer loop, there one if statement is there, if I greater than 2. Okay, whenever i's value becomes greater than 2, that is 3 and all, so that time break will work out. Break will work out means what? See, this break statement here I have given as a part of the outer loop only. So that time whenever this condition is satisfying, that time it stops the complete working of the loop, outer loop. Okay, so I hope it is clear. Where we are giving the break statement, based on that only the break statement, see, where we are given the inner loop or outer loop, based on that only the break statement will be working. So this is another example. So here that is, see, the same looping statement, and inside inner loop, the complete working of the inner loop, working of the inner loop, it continues till the condition becomes false, so whenever the condition becomes false, then only outer loop updation will be working out. That is the normal working of nested loop. So here inside the inner loop, one SOP statement is given. Then after that, if I into j greater than 8, I into j greater than 8, so I into j will be calculated, and the value is greater than 8, it becomes 8. So that time what will happen, break statement will be working out. Okay, so it terminates the execution of the program from the inner loop, and it works again, it continues with the outer loop updation. Okay, so in this statement, the break statement is as a part of inner loop block only. So that time whenever the condition is becomes true, that is I into j greater than 8, so that time what will happen, so break statement will be working out, that is inner loop working, it stops and it moves to the updation of outer loop, or otherwise if any statements are given as a part of outer loop, it will be working as continuation. Okay, so both the difference you got, I hope so. Then next, labeled break also we have discussed in the previous chapter. So how we'll use labeled break, how it is working in nested loop, that we see. Okay, then so label the break, you know, we have to put a label before the loop. Okay, and it follows by a colon. Okay, label a colon. Then whenever we are using that label break, so it controls the jumping. Okay, or it's control the working, or it control the termination of the loop to the outside of the loop. Okay, after the loop, automatically the controls will go after the outer loop. Okay, so example you see here, int ij, then one label outer, then one colon, outer colon. Okay, it's a label only. So their outer loop started. Okay, then inner loop started. So inside the inner loop it is given if j is equal to 2, j is equal to 2, that means if j's value becomes 2, break outer. So break outer means automatically it stops all the working of the looping statements. Okay, so this type of snippets you will be getting for see for your board exam 10 standard and all. So this type of questions you'll be getting the section A questions, and find out the output or explain the working of like that questions you can expect. Okay, so next we'll see how we'll use continuous statement nested loop. Okay, so the continuous statement, see, it skips the wherever the continuous statement occurs. So the from the there it skips the remainder of the current loop. It's okay, it omits or it skips the rest of the statement. Okay, and it moves to the next iteration, that is the normal way. But in case of nested loop, it skips the next iteration of the innermost loop. Okay, so suppose the inner loop, okay, when we are creating a nested loop, inner loop, if we are adding continuous statement, so the inner loops, rest of the statement it skips and it moves to the next iteration or updation statement of the inner loop. Okay, so this one example you see, this is not a complete program. So this example you see, for I equal to 1, I less than 5 and I plus plus, and for j equal to 1, j less than or equal to 3, condition is true. So I into j, 1 into 1 greater than 10. Okay, whenever it becomes greater than 10, the product of I and j becomes greater than 10. So that time continue. Continue means what? This I into j SOP statement, it skips and it moves which statement? This continue is a part of inner loop only. So j plus plus will be working out. Okay, so till that, if till that means till that I into j SOP statement will work. Whenever I into j the result becomes greater than 10, so that time this SOP statement won't work and it continues the control pass to j plus plus. Okay, so this way see, in outer loop also continuous statement can be placed, and at the same time see, then for the labeled continue also can be used. Okay, so next we'll see the very important, that is differences between break and continue. One's already I think I have explained, but at the same time this is very important. So once again we'll discuss what are the main differences between break and continue. This is given in your textbook also. Whatever differences and all given in box, that you have to study properly. Okay, then whenever you are writing for the exam, it's better practice, you have to write in a table. So the break statement, you know, it is mainly we are using to terminate from the loop immediately, in which loop it is exits or which block it exits, from there we can terminate. Okay, and continue statement, it skips the current iteration or current statements of the loop. Okay, it moves to the next iteration. Then another this one, see, we, you know, we can use the break statement in switch statement as well as loop statement. Okay, so whenever it is asking for the break statement, so not only in switch but in looping statement also we can use break statement, but continue we can use only in looping statements. Okay, that's all for today. see, before that, before winding up, let me tell you one thing. Many unsolved questions are given in this chapter, that also you have to try. We'll do programs more on the next session. Thank you.